Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to do a shipping with me video of things that have sold since, let's see, today is Tuesday, well, yesterday, that sold yesterday. Yesterday was Monday and we were away at a theme park all day, so I pretty much listed some drafts that I had on my phone in eBay, and I got those up. My whole strategy on listing, I'm going to go through today and tell you how many I list a day and why I do that and how I keep my goal and keep my goal of growth while I do that. But first I'm going to show you what sold while we were at Cedar Point Amusement Park in Sandusky, Ohio. We frequent that park quite a bit. It's not that far from us, so we usually go there every 2 weeks or so in the summer, and we make a day of it and we stay the whole day and then we drive home. We don't stay overnight or anything. So let's see what sold while we were at Cedar Point. Okay, first thing is a sale on eBay. It's a DKNY floral dress. It's in a size, let's see, 14, and it had some I would say like a little bit of staining. I don't know if you can see it on camera, from probably deodorant, and I noted that in the listing so that they would know that that's there. I didn't try to get it out myself or anything. A beautiful dress though for summer. I think it sits at about, yeah, right above below the knee, and that sold for, I made a profit of $6.29 on eBay for that, and I paid $1, so that's one of the first items. Okay, so the next thing that sold is this Goodfellow and Company t-shirt, just a basic striped t-shirt. This was from liquidation, but I noticed that it didn't have the tags on it when I went to list it, so I couldn't list it as brand new with tags. I did say that it was new without tags, and I took an offer yesterday. We were actually in line for a roller coaster, and I took an offer for $6.37 for that. I figure I only paid $1 for it, no tags, works out just fine, which my profit on that was $4.71 after fee. Next on eBay is this French Connection blouse, kind of just a floral, lightweight. Here's the tag for French Connection. I always thought that French Connection sold for a little bit more, and I'm not sure who sells French Connection. Is it Nordstrom? I'm not sure. If anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. And that was sold on eBay for, again, I took an offer for $8 in line yesterday at the amusement park, and I was happy to have that because I have had this listed for probably a year, so glad to get it out. Next to sell on eBay are another liquidation item. It's the Goodfellow and Company just summer shorts, basic. They call them the everyday shorts. So these sold, they were brand new with tags, and they sold for $13 on eBay yesterday, so I'm pretty happy with that sale. Okay, next is a Gap skirt, and this sold on eBay as well. It's a longer length. It's a midi, but through the side is this slit. So I imagine it's nice for even if you're on the beach or you go on vacation, you go ahead and put this on, and it has that nice slit, so you have pretty much an open leg. And this was a size small. I don't know if this is an older Gap tag. I'm not really familiar with all the Gap tags. I know a 90s one when I see one, or Y2K, but other than that I'm not really familiar. And that sold on eBay for $10. Okay, next, you can't really see them because I already had them in the plastic. They're two Chicos. One's a t-shirt and one's almost like an animal print semi-sheer. I don't know if it's semi-sheer. Maybe that's another one I'm thinking of. Just like a zip-up jacket. I'll put the photos up here so you can see them. Those sold in a bundle. I offered the buyer $15 plus a shipping discount. So I really only made a total of $9.68, but that's fine. I only paid, well, $2, so that's a profit of $7.68 for those. And at one point I was doing all of my listings. Once I would get them listed, I would fold them up neatly and put them in the plastic already so that they would be so easy to pull once I, get them from downstairs, pull them to ship, and they easily just go into a package. But I kind of was getting behind on that because I would list maybe 15 in a day. I wouldn't have time to do all this folding and packaging and make sure nothing had any hair or lint on it or anything. So I quit doing that. Plus I was buying so many of these, and honestly I'm not like the biggest fan of, I feel like I'm double packaging and I'm paying about maybe 3 cents a piece for these. They're just the little plastic poly wrappers, and the only reason I keep doing it is because I did it for a while and then I stopped doing it. And probably 2 weeks after I stopped, a buyer left a review, and they left a good review. I didn't get a bad review on eBay, thank goodness, because that does cause the defect. But what happened is, in their review they said, yes, the item's nice, this and that. However, we are a little disappointed because the shirt was just in the bag, and we feel like if something would have happened to it, if it would have gotten a little jostled in the mail and maybe torn, that garment would have been destroyed. So they were like, we didn't really like it all just in the bag. So that's when I resorted back to doing it. Environmentally, I'm not a fan of it, but I'm still doing it because I want to make the customer happy, and I don't know what else to do about that. They want their purchase protected, which I understand. So, but that was a nice sale. Next, this is another Poshmark sale. It's these blank NYC shorts, and I'll post a picture of those as well. These I've had since probably 2020. At that time, maybe 2021. At that time I was doing, I can't even remember what it's called. It was a consignment app on your phone that you could sign up for. If any of you remember what that was called, or if any of you did it, it was where you put yourself on there as a seller and you would bid kind of on lots. People would have all of the clothing, maybe not all the photos, and they would have all the clothing in these lots, and you would just bid on it and say what your commission would be and the time you think it would take, I think, to sell it. And a lot of times I would, win bids, and people would send me their merchandise. And what happens is, at the end of the consignment period, matter of fact, I think it was 90 days. I think you had 90 days, and whatever didn't sell, you could add an extension if the, what is that, consignee, something like that. If they agreed, they would let you have the stuff for maybe another 60 days. And if not, they would just request that you send it back, and they would actually pay for a label to send all of the items back. Or you could do what's called a buyout. And I did quite a many buyouts, and I kind of regret it because at the time I wasn't that sure on what brands were great. So I thought that every brand that they were sending me was the hottest merchandise ever. And I wasn't, I didn't know all of my brands. I still don't know all of my brands because I'm a basic reseller. I don't look for the high-end stuff all the time. But this Blank NYC I don't think is a bad brand. I think they're actually really good. But I ended up buying these out for, I think, $3. That lot had probably maybe 5 items left, and I paid $3 a piece, so I paid $15 for the whole thing. I never had to ship it back. I just keep it. And the nice thing about that was the fact that you don't have to delete them, because I had them on Mercari, Poshmark, and eBay. And when the buyer, or whatever they're called, when they would want the stuff back, you would have to go back and delete all of that stuff off of every platform. But it was nice when you could buy it out and they would, you just kept them up there. But a lot of the times I found that the people wanted way more than I was willing to pay. So I ended up shipping quite a few back. I think they wanted $10 a piece or something, and I wouldn't have made any profit basically. So I'm so glad these are out and done, and those sold for $17. So that's a good $11.28 profit minus the 3. So I'll take it. Those have been here for quite a while. For some reason, I'm thinking it was the name Flip Kit. It's something like that. It's going to bother me until I remember, but hopefully somebody else remembers out there. Next is these ribbed, airy leggings, and I think they had a flaw of some sort. I think there was like a dark spot somewhere on the bottom. I can't see it right now, but I know I noted it in the listing. Those sold for $11, and I made $8.05 profit. And I got these at Plato's on one of their 90% sales, so that was a good deal. I try to make it there for their 90% offs, because they do those about 2 or 3 times a year, and I find that you can find stuff like that you can flip pretty quickly. Next is this Athleta quarter zip kind of fitted shirt, long sleeve. I think it has the thumb holes. And this was not a great sell. This sold for $9, and I also gave a shipping discount because my VA does that for me. So I ended up only making $3.73 profit, and after the dollar I paid for it, that's only $2.73. And what happened there was I did closet clear out, and it dropped it to 10, and it didn't get relisted because of all the Poshmark drama. And then my VA sent out the $9, and now I'm doing shipping discounts again just to help me get some sales on Poshmark, because I quit doing the shipping discount probably maybe 8 months ago. And I've still been making sales, and I think the profit is better, but I just wanted to try to do it again and see if I made some more sales. So that's out the door, but didn't make the profit that I thought it would. Okay, here's another Poshmark sale that absolutely stunk. Same thing as the Athleta shirt. This is a nice Atlanta Braves tee. It has tags, and it retails for $22.99. And again, I had it on closet clear out. It dropped the price. I really don't know how closet clear out dropped it to $9, but it did. So then the VA yesterday, while I was away, sent an $8 offer and a shipping discount. So I only made $2.73. And I also paid $1 for it. But the good news is that I have 12 of these left in stock. So if anybody needs an Atlanta Braves tee, please stop by my shop and know that I have many in stock. So I still made a profit, and I still have a lot more to go to make more. Okay, so last but not least is this Shade and Shore bikini top. And I just listed this about a week ago, so it hasn't been up for long. And again, swimwear, my policy, out the door no matter what, spring and summer. And that sold for a nice price on eBay for $12.32. And just a nice little swimwear. No matching bottom, just is as is, and I'll take it. Okay, so guys, I'm just editing my video right now, and I forgot to include one thing that I really wanted to say about Cedar Point. We go every year, but we had the opportunity to ride the Top Thrill Dragster 2, and let me tell you, I will ride any coaster, and I'm a coaster enthusiast. I'm seeing a glare in my glasses. Maybe I'll take them off. It was the first time in I can't tell you how long. I was literally terrified. It was great and I would write it again and again, but the rush of everything that you get writing that is just unreal. So if any of you are near Cedar Point or planning a trip this year, I highly, highly recommend taking the time to ride that. It already had a 2 hour excuse me, it had a 2 hour wait yesterday. So we used our one free fast pass we get with our season pass. But even the fast passes, I think, are a single use is $20 a piece. So it's not out of reach. I think the Fastlane Plus for all day is $125 a person. But anyway, just highly recommend it. I'll put a little video here of a shot of it. Okay, and lastly, before I end the video, like I said, I'm going to kind of go through my listing strategy. It's changed over the years, and I feel like this is the best strategy for me. And honestly, I've maintained consistent sales with it. I have not lost sales, even though when I first started doing it, I was a little bit worried about what could happen. So it used to be that I followed numerous sellers on YouTube, and I thought, well, I have to do what they're doing in order to grow my business, and I have to figure out what they do. So at first, I was following information that told me I would have to get my listings up to 20 to 30 a day, doing 20 to 30 listings in a day to start seeing the profits that I wanted to see. So probably when school started last year in September, when my daughter went back, I figured I had the time to kind of dive into that, and I did. It was a lot of pressure to, get those 20 listings up, and then it became a kind of a race to get as much inventory as you possibly could, because I was doing 20 to 30 a day. And if you multiply that even by 7 days a week, that's a lot of inventory you have to bring in as well. And I was quickly going through my death pile or money pile, whatever you want to say. I like money pile. So towards spring, probably towards, well, maybe even after Christmas, maybe around February, I started to realize that I don't know if this is the best option for me, especially with summer coming up and my ability to source being, a little bit harder in the summer with my daughter being home. A lot of times she doesn't want to go, to the thrift store and do those things. She wants to just have her summer and do fun things, and we do fun things together. So I switched to, I started thinking about what should I do. And I watched a video by Tech and Sports. And I don't think this is 100% what he said, but it's kind of what I came up with personally. So you guys know my listing goal is about 80,000 listings. And it's going to take a very long time to get there. But growth can happen at the rate you want it to happen. It doesn't have to happen so quickly that you run yourself out of money and inventory so fast. Because if you're not ready to be at 30 listings a day, money-wise, it can start draining your bank account very quickly. So basically what I did was at the end of every day, I count how many sales that I had. And mainly it's how many items have come off of eBay, because there are a few stragglers here and there that I listed probably in 2019, not many, that may be on Poshmark but not on eBay and sell. So they're not on eBay. But mostly all of my inventory is on eBay. So I count how many I sold. So today I sold, how many did I sell? 1, 2, let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. I sold 10, I think. Unless I'm missing one. So essentially tomorrow, what I list is what I need to replace, the number I need to replace, which is 10, plus an extra 3. So 13 would go in tomorrow. And then I will take 13 photographs because I always replace what are in my drafts. I have 20 in my drafts right now. I probably should have more. And 13 will go out tomorrow morning, so I'll have to put 13 back in to get back to 20. And I do that daily. So if I sell 3, I list 6. And there's always room for growth with that, because when I'm ready to bump it up to 4 extra a day, I'll bump it up to 4. Probably when school starts, 4 or 5. And as you grow, you know you're growing. You know you are increasing your listings every day by at least 21 a week. And that's growth. It doesn't have to be this exponential growth. It can be small growth, or it could be larger growth. You could go 6 extra a day if you want to do that. And I find that that's the best strategy. And I just have a running tab every day that I kind of just write down, well, how many listings did I have yesterday? How many do I have today? And it gives you that encouragement to see that growth. And when you look back 30 days, you're like, wow, I was only at this much and now I have this many in my eBay store. That really only counts on eBay. That's how I count it. Poshmark algorithm, Mercari, stuff like that. I don't think they just are a different animal altogether. So I just wanted to share my listing strategy, and I don't think I'll ever stray away from this. It's easy for me, and it's almost like a real job. Sometimes your workday is really busy. You have a ton of listings. Some days a lighter day, and that's, all in daily work. So I encourage you all again to not be afraid of reselling, to sell what you want to sell. Don't feel the pressure that you have to find bolos and do all of these things. Just stick with a plan, and I guarantee you will see growth, and you will be happy with everything that you're doing. Until next time, I'll see ya.